I recently got a job up at Walmart. My job consists of me being in charge of making sure the customers find everything they're looking for. I was the cashier, so I would have to interact with customers on a daily basis. Walmart was good though, especially for me. I was only in high school during this time, and I didn't need much money. So Walmart was the right fit for me. They also aligned my school schedule with my work schedule, so this was a bonus, I guess. My coworkers were also chill and laid back for the most part, but one day on my Walmart shift, I had offered to stay over a little longer because it was the weekend, and Walmart was 24 hours at the time. I was scheduled to 8 p.m., but I had said I would stay over for a few extra hours to make a few extra cash. My friend Emma would always be there with me as well, but she worked the cash register next to me and would always be sad and look depressed. But she was my friend, and I wanted to know what was wrong with her. She told me that her ex boyfriend, Adam, won't leave her alone and keeps calling her phone and showing up to her work unannounced. I told her that she should go to the police and put a restraining order on him, but she was too scared. As the night went on, it was getting closer for me to leave work, and Emma was right beside me, standing at the cash register, waiting for a customer when she got a call. She picked up and her face went blank, and she looked terrified. She then hung up the phone and put her hand over her face and looked over at me as if something was wrong. I tried to see if it was Adam, and she nodded her head saying yes, and how he was going to come up to her work if, in his own words, she doesn't be a good girl. I asked her if he ever harmed her like physical, and she said in the past, but everything has changed. Ever since. Unless he is drunk. As time went by, I began to start cleaning up around the cash register and shutting down our lane so I could leave and go home. Emma was ready to leave as well and asked if she could ride with me. When I left, and I agreed and said I would give Emma a ride home because I felt bad for her. We both cleaned up our area and it was time for us to clock out. When we was leaving to the back to punch our numbers in, we saw Adam and a group of other guys with him. Emma told me that was his drunk friend group and how we needed to leave right away. We then got our things and began to start walking back to the front so we could leave. That's when Adam stopped at Emma. Started to ask questions like, "Where do you think you're going?" Emma told Adam to let go, and he just kept holding on a strong grip onto her shirt. Now, for a little context, I was a little female. I'd never been in a fight in my entire life. This whole incident took me by surprise. I then yelled at Adam to let her go. He looked at me and laughed, and he let her go before walking off. We then left Walmart and began to start walking to my car, which was parked far in the parking lot of Walmart. Emma kept looking over her shoulders, making sure Adam was not following us. We got a foot away from my car and we both got into the car, and after driving away, I felt a relief that Adam and his group of drunk friends did not follow us. I then dropped Emma off at our house and said I would see her at work tomorrow. The next day on my shift, everything was going smoothly. Emma was smiling and seemed genuinely happy. So I thought Adam got the message and decided to leave her alone for good this time. As my shift went on, it was getting closer to 8 p.m., our normal working shift. I looked out the corner of my eyes and saw Adam, but not his drunk friends, just Adam alone. And he looked at me, staring at me, as he made his way towards me. Emma was right beside me checking out a customer and didn't realize Adam was there. But Adam came closer to me, maybe a foot away in distance. He said, "Emma is mine. She's not going anywhere." Before walking off into the clothes aisle, I told Emma that, "Did you let Adam know to leave you alone?" She said she blocked him on everything, and I told her we should get a manager or contact the local police and put a restraining order because this stalking was not going to stop. Adam kept making himself known by popping up everywhere near us. When the time was around 8 p.m., my manager was about to leave and I told her about it. She told me that she would talk to him if she saw him, but Adam was nowhere to be found. Me and Emma then clocked out and began to walk to our car, checking the parking lot to make sure it was safe to do so. We got a foot away from my car. We then saw Adam duck behind my car. I told Emma to run back into Walmart and call the police. When she did, Adam showed himself and I heard footsteps. It was Adam now chasing us back into Walmart. When we got into Walmart, Adam looked at us from the front door and smiled before walking off. We then called the police, and the police ended up putting a restraining order on him, and he could not come a foot in distance. Adam was now gone out the picture, and Emma was now smiling and happy again at work. She would tell me that she hasn't heard or seen Adam, and she hopes to never see him again. Really, all I can say is I'm happy that the policeman helped Emma put a restraining order on Adam because in the past he did get physical with Emma. When he was drunk, he was a different human being. For now, all I know is that Adam has finally came to his senses and moved on. I think it's because the strict restraining order we got on him. I have been working in retail for all my life, but this will be my first time working at Walmart. I got hired a week ago and had to put a delay on my starting date due to family problems. But my first few weeks of working at Walmart went smooth, as most of my retail jobs did in the past, except one night, which really sticks with me, even still to this day. I was working the night shift, and this was my first time working the night shift. There would always be more customers, and I'd be in charge of stocking the banana boxes up and making sure all the fruits and vegetables were stocked right. When I was stocking the bananas, I had a middle-aged guy come up to me and ask, "Where's your milk located at?" I told the man that the milk was on the next aisle towards the front. The customer then thanked me and walked off. As the night went on, I would look over and see the same man from earlier, the man who asked me for where the milk was. This was strange because that was hours ago, and every time we would make eye contact, the man would put his head down very fast and try to avoid eye contact altogether. I thought this was strange, but did not keep worrying about this situation because it wasn't so uncommon that people would stay in stores shopping for a long time. The only thing that was scary is that this man did not have anything in his hand, and it didn't seem like he was shopping. It felt more like he was stalking me. I went to the back and let my coworkers know, and they said to keep an eye on the man and don't go anywhere alone. I kept stalking. I had been on work for a few hours and would normally go take an hour-long break. I started to make my way towards the back to take my break. When I was walking, I could see the same man in different aisles following me towards the back. I tried quickening my pace. The man did the same. There was a lot of customers in the stores, and I wasn't worried about anything bad happening if I was around people. So I kept walking around people, making my way towards the break room. After an hour of sitting in the break room and scrolling on my phone, I then went back to my workstation. And at the banana spot, I saw the same man from earlier. I walked past him quickly, trying not to get near him at all. The man then tried to stop me and asked, "What time do you close?" I hesitantly told him 10 p.m. Man then walked off and was nowhere to be found. It was getting closer for closing time, and I told a few of my coworkers, which they said they would walk me out to my car when it was time for me to leave to make sure it was safe. After an hour, I then got ready to clock out and began to start walking towards my car. I had my coworker John come with me to make sure it was safe to do so. Car lot was pretty empty. There was nobody really outside, and as I got close to my car, John then began to start walking back to Walmart. I began to start unlocking my car. That's when I heard footsteps. I then turned around and saw the man from earlier running at me. I then unlocked my car and opened it and shut it and turned on my car and started to drive away. The man then started to beat on my window as I was driving away. I was paranoid and I grabbed my phone and called the police. The police said they would be there in a minute and to stay calm and drive away and find a safe spot. I did what the police said, and when the police arrived, the man was gone. I gave every description I could, but he was gone. They told me if I saw him again to let them know. Well, you're not going to believe this. After I left, I began to start driving back home, but I had to stop at a gas station to fill up my car. I saw the same man from earlier. He was walking to the same gas station as me. He didn't see me, but I saw him, so I went to the woman's bathroom and called the police. The police then showed up not long after and arrested the man. He was in the gas station for maybe a few minutes looking around for me because he saw my car. And the man who was arrested was a known stalker who would stalk people and then kidnap them. He was soon arrested, and I have not heard or seen this guy ever since. I'm just glad that the man did not follow me towards the bathroom, and the police got there just in time to arrest the man. I was never the type to really shop at Walmart in the morning, but I had to for this day. I was getting ahead of the curve and was buying my groceries for the week. And normally, in the mornings, there would be no customers, or really anyone at this time, so I had advantage, I guess. When I was shopping for my groceries, the Walmart was pretty empty. You would see customers in other aisles, but not in the food ones. I was in the cereal aisle when I saw a guy and a female arguing. I guess they were boyfriend and girlfriend. I was never the type to get into people's business, but their argument seemed serious. The man was a bigger guy, and the woman, she was on the smaller side, maybe 5 foot and really tiny. I tried to ignore them arguing, But I had to say something because the man flinched at the woman, and that caused her to run into my cart, knocking it over, spilling all my grocery items. I was frustrated, and I said some things to the man. Now, looking back at this, I should have kept my mouth shut, but in the heat of moment, I let my anger get the best of me. I told the man off, cussing at him and not sparing from a string of cuss words. The man then looked at me with a blank face as if he was confused and started to tell me how I was in the way and maybe I should have watched out for next time, and this never would have happened. Before walking off, I was then mad and went to help the female up and asked if she was okay. She didn't thank me for helping her up and started telling me about her personal life and about her problems with her boyfriend, who I had just cussed out and was mad at. She told me that he was a felony and how it's a good thing he just walked off because he hurts people all the time, and she didn't want to see me get hurt. The man then came back, saw me talking to his girlfriend, and that's when things escalated. Me and the guy began to start arguing. It got loud where an employee came over because they overheard us. The employee told us to knock it off or we would have to leave. I then walked off and I thought that was the end of it. After I got done shopping, I began to start walking to my car. That's when I saw the same guy from earlier and he was sitting on my car. I told the man to get off my car and he laughed and said, "What are you gonna do about it?" I was not trying to fight the man due to the fact I could see on his waist he had a gun. But to my surprise, the police was driving through the parking lot and could see the man sitting on my car and pulled up next to us, making sure everything was okay. I told the police everything and how this man was on my car and how he was abusing his girlfriend in the store. His girlfriend nodded, saying yes, and the police officer put the man into handcuffs and arrested him. For the female, I'm not sure what happened to her. All I knew was the man who I was arguing with turned out to be a felony for hurting people and taking people's lives away. They said the wrong thing to him. I'm just glad that the policeman was driving around during this time because this could have went really bad for both of us.